Hey guys, and welcome to the Testimony Project. Today it's a special edition. It's going to be my testimony, so I'm going to make it myself, and I hope it will answer some questions. All right, so let's go right to it. I was raised in a Christian family, and I remember when I was 6 years old, I had this thought in my mind about death, and I was imagining it at 6 years old. I was imagining it like when they close the lid, then suddenly it's total darkness, and I wasn't satisfied with this image, with this concept. And so later on, I started to believe in God. I thought there was a God, and because I was raised as a Christian, I had this kind of knowledge. So we were going to church, but I always felt uncomfortable and not welcomed. The church we were going to, they were kind of judgmental, and at least that's how I felt. And so we quit the church when I was a teenager. I stopped going there, and that's where I started to go another way. And I still believed in God, and but I only prayed when I needed service from Him. And the amazing thing is He was coming through. I'm not saying you should do that, but I'm saying because I was honest, I really needed Him, and I acknowledged it. He always came through. That's what is amazing about our Father. But it was wrong. And so being at school, I really hated school. I was hanging with the wrong crowd. I was smoking. I was doing drug, and I started cigarette when I was 16 and pot at the same time. That was really not a good way for me to go through. I kind of messed up my my path, my professional path, because of this, and I lost a lot of time. And so I have different group of friends where I could hang with, and mainly it was just for how was my mood at the moment. And then I selected a group of friends, give a call to one or two, and I went there. But most of the time, what I wanted it was to get high. So back at school, I went. I don't know what is the equivalent for America or other country, but I had a bachelor degree. Then I went above that. Anyways, not a big education, but I got a sales degree, and I started to work. And all the work I took, I think my longest contract was 1 year. So it's ridiculous. I never felt like I could work for somebody or for a company. Every time it didn't fit my vision, and I wasn't satisfied with some decision the boss was making. Sometimes I felt it didn't make sense to me or for the company. So I kind of went into a how to say that. I wanted to go my own way. Let's put it in that way. So one night after going to the nightclub, I remember I was in the nightclub, and of course we were drinking. I was getting drunk, and I saw my friends with all of them. They had girlfriends for a long time now, and I just was. I had some girlfriends, but never past 2 months. I was never also satisfied, and so I came back home, and I remember I had this prayer where I asked, Father, I see all my friends having girlfriends for a long time, and it's good for them. I would like to have the same, but I'm ready. I want to meet my wife. I'm ready to go the next step. I want to meet my wife. And so life went on, and my father kicked me out of my parents' home because we always were conflicting with each other, always disagreeing on many stuff, and we couldn't get along. And so I found a small apartment in the house of a friend, and he kind of rented me the space, and that's where I started to fall a little deeper, step by step. I got unemployed for over a year, and that's at that moment where I started to think about what to do with my life. But at the same time, I was depressed. I was smoking pot. I was getting high every night. It was very a dark moment in my life, trying to figure out what to do. Um, so what happened is I realized that I don't know why I realized that China could be a way for me to get out of all of this. My town was kind of small. I was feeling stuck. I knew every face in the town, and even when I went to the city, I kind of knew many faces, and I didn't like this feeling. I wanted to go in a world where I would feel free and unexplored. So what happened is I wanted to meet Chinese people. I wanted to know them and to get to know them, and so I could take a trip and meet them there, and they could lead me in their city. Introducing me to some nice place to visit. So I didn't know how to go about that. So what I did is I went for an online dating site. I know that's not the first choice, but I really wasn't going there for dating, but I was saying, hey, you know what? I don't have any other solution. A dating site could be the answer. Okay, I would meet girls, which is good, but I really wasn't there for dating. So I met several girls and I told them my plan to go to China to visit first, and among these people I met Cynthia, who later became my wife, but I didn't know at the time, and it's an amazing story, and it would be a whole other testimony on its own. But when I met her after like a few weeks, I had this little prayer, and I said to God, could she be the one? Could she be the one? And I kind of knew deep inside she was the one. I don't know how to explain that, but I kind of knew already she was the one just after a few weeks. So that was kind of amazing. So we were really bonding and talking to each other every day, until 1 year after that was the grand depart. I finally left France and my family and my friends, and I went there, and I met Cynthia, and I decided, you know what, that's what I want. I want to stay in China, and I want to do something there. So I found a job 1 hour away from plane to where Cynthia was living. So I was living up in the north, and she was living in the south. So we set up like a date for every month. We would see each other like once per month, a weekend. So that was very small, but we could take it. So a year after that, I quit my job, and but before that, sorry, I was working for this small company over there, and what happened is I started to questioning my faith, but I didn't really have a faith. I was born in a Christian family, so to me it was more like an education. I was educated as Christian, but I didn't know what it meant to be a Christian. In fact, I heard the Bible, I heard many stuff, but I didn't know what it meant. So I started digging and seeking for the truth. And what happened is I went to a lot of websites, a lot of videos, a lot of articles, and I read and I watched a lot. And I started to dig into New Age, and especially into UFOs. I don't know why I was so attracted by this. I wanted to know the truth. We saw many UFOs, we saw many different paranormal signs, and I was thinking, there must be something to it. It's not possible that they would just make that up, and many people believe in UFOs. Many people don't believe in it, but there was something to it, and I started to dig into it, and I started to believe in it, and I discovered the New Age movement, or the New Age religion, which is a religion, and it says that we are kind of gods, and we can reach some level of consciousness. It was very complicated to me, all of this, and didn't really make sense, but it was very attractive because I love science fiction movies and all of this. So what happened is I found this guy online, and he was talking about all of this knowledge of the universe, and when people say, oh, the universe wants me to do that, and I was trying to understand this, and he was saying, love, the universal love, this is what you need to seek, and this is where lay the answer. And I was like, wow, yeah, this is very attractive. I tried to learn. I saved the videos and I watched them over and over. And at some point, in the same time, I was digging about others UFO phenomenon and maybe other extraterrestrial races. And I found that there were these giant blondes and everything. And I was like, wow, so there are other lives beyond this earth. And anyway, I got seriously lost. I think I've never been so lost in my spiritual life than at this point. And so I kept that with me and I moved with my wife to the city where she's now. So we are living in China. And so with this in mind, still with this digging, so what happened is I kept digging, and then I kind of gave up on the whole New Age stuff because it didn't really match my belief. It didn't really make sense, like reincarnation and all of this. We can reincarnate to animals. It didn't make sense to me. So I started digging into into Islam, and also the message was not that bad from what we hear everywhere. So I was like, maybe. Anyway, I went through many things, many of the Buddhism and all of this, and someday I was so tired, so exhausted of more than a year of research and digging many videos, the UFOs, the universe, this and that. I was really seriously, spiritually lost, and so I kneeled down and I prayed and I said, okay, God, whoever you are, the source of light, a God, a spirit, whatever, whoever you are, I really need you now. I really need to know your true identity. And I think that's the keyword that I really need it. Who are you? What is your true identity? And so after that prayer, I think it was the day before that. The next day, I stumbled upon a video, and it was a Christian video, but I didn't mean to watch the Christian video. So I opened up. It was about the universe, about planets and stars and galaxies. And I started to watch, and I said, "Oh, you know what? I need to save it. I don't have time for that." So I saved it in my favorites, but I have tons of favorites. At this time, I had like hundreds of them. So it got lost into a sea of favorites, and I would be never found again. So I went on with my work. I'm a freelancer. I work on my computer, so I had other stuff to think about at the time. And what happened is the next day, around 9:30, 10 a.m., I had this voice in my mind telling me, watch the video. And I knew it was talking about the video I was watching the day before. And I don't know why, but this voice kept telling me with a lot of patience, a lot of love, and watch the video very quietly, peacefully, watch the video. And you know, it happens to you when you hear this voice and you try to shut it up because it's your own voice, or you are trying. There is a music in the back of your mind, or you are thinking about this comment or whatever, and it's looping inside your mind, and you do something else, and all of a sudden it disappears, or you forget about it. But this voice wouldn't let go. It just wouldn't let go. I couldn't do anything but a lot of patience. So I gave in and I said, okay, I'm going to watch the video. So I opened it up, started to watch it, and after 30 seconds, I don't know what happened, but something huge happened inside of me. I suddenly started to have tears going on my face, sorry, and I started to realize, and all of a sudden it's like the Bible was true, Jesus Christ was the truth, and I needed to know more about him. All of this, and all of a sudden a very heavy weight was physically took out of my shoulders. I was feeling much lighter, and I was crying, and I was thanking God, and that was an amazing moment, the most amazing moment in my whole life. All of a sudden I knew that the truth. I knew the truth. I don't know how to explain it. To me, God spoke to me and told me, this is the truth. This is the Bible, and know Jesus Christ. Try to learn about him, get to know him, because that's the solution, that's the answer you're looking for. And this weight just vanishing from my shoulder, that was huge. And I was praising him and thanking him. That was the most amazing moment in my life. So right after that, I needed to share this with my wife, because at this time we didn't have much friends, and we didn't go out much. She was working, I was home, and our life was a little just us in our bubble. And I needed to talk about God, and I was such on fire for Him, and so much love to share. And I told my wife, you need to believe, you need to listen to this, you need to experience Him like I did. But she wouldn't listen, and I pushed her away more and more. And until someday she just told me, look, I don't want to hear any more about your God, just leave me alone with that. And it saddened me, but because of me, I pushed her away, and I did the worst stuff you can do when you love God. And it's because we have so much zeal from Him. He's giving us so much love. It's so powerful that you just cannot contain it. You need to be wise about it. But at this point, we are just new. We are so new. It's so exciting knowing all of this, life after death, knowing the truth, and knowing that the Bible can answer all our questions. That was huge to me, and I needed to share. So one day I had a project, and I needed to go away from home for a week. So I went away, and leaving my wife alone at home. And during this week, I was living in a friend's home, and every night I was praying, but I was pouring my heart out there, because for me it was important that God showed Himself to her. I wanted her to know that, to experience Him, because it was too huge not to be shared. So every night I was praying, and I was praying with all my heart. And the third day, I received a call from my wife. Anyway, we called every night, but the third day she was calling me during the day. We used to call every night, and she told me, "Hey, babe, do you know a Bible version I should read?" And I was shocked. I asked her, "What? I have no idea. Chinese Bible? I have no idea." And our landlord was a Christian. What a coincidence! He was a Christian. And what happened is, she's a very shy woman. So I told her, you know what? The best answer I could give you is just give him a call, give them a call, and they will suggest you better than I do. And then she said, "Oh, okay, maybe I will give it a try." And she hung up, and I was like, "Oh no, she's never going to call." So I prayed, "Father, please make her call, because I want her to know you, and she needs to know you." And the next day, she calls me, and she tells me that she got them on the phone, and that they were very excited about it. And they came home, brought her 2 Bibles, one pocket Bible and one for Bible study. They were very excited. She was very excited. And she called me and told me, "We need to go to church." I said, "Wow, that's huge. Seriously?" "Okay, yeah, of course, let's go to church." So, and I was still away. And so I kept praying, and I was thanking the Lord for that. So what happened is, I came back, and then we went to church, and we met so many nice people. And it was a Chinese church. I didn't understand about Chinese, but I enjoyed it. And knowing that my wife was there sitting and listening to the gospel, that was awesome. And we met this foreigner, American guy, and he told us, "Hey, why don't you go to the international church where you could understand?" And I said, "Oh, you know what? Let's give it a try." And we finally went there, and that was an amazing. It's still to this day our church. We go there, and I would say church is very important in your life, not because you need to go to church, to this physical built building. A church is, like Jesus tells us in the Bible, we are the living stones. So where 2 people are assembled in His name, where 2 people are praying, are worshiping Him, this is the church. We are living stones. We are building the church together. So you don't have to go to church, but we need to fellowship with our brothers and sisters. So you need to go to church to fellowship with them. But it doesn't mean go to a physical church, go to a Catholic church, go to any denominational church. Just go to a church that follows the Bible and follows Christ. That's what you need to have, and go in prayers. Just ask God to lead you to the right church. So it's important to go to church, but for fellowshipping, not for the building itself. And fellowship with your brothers and sisters outside of church. So right now, today, she has accepted Jesus. We are both so happy, and we are reading the Bible together. And now she's going. The next step is to being baptized. So prayers are powerful. God is amazing. He's answering your prayers, and I encourage you to try Him. Just give Him a try. And I have this verse that was the one that really spoke to me, and through my experience of trying to go through all of this digging of information. And that would be my message to you. If you are in this situation where you are trying to find the truth, because there are so many truths in this world where you can find the truth that really satisfies you, but you shouldn't look for a let's redo this part. So it's off. Alright. It's going to be noisy maybe. Anyway, I'm done.
I think there's one more class. Alright.
So my message to you would be, if you are digging like me into a lot of stuff, and if you are looking for the truth, and by truth I mean the truth, not your truth, not the truth that will satisfy you, because at some point some truth, what they call truth, was satisfying me. The New Age was satisfying me. Knowing about UFOs and all of this alien stuff, it was really satisfying to me, and I really enjoyed it. But this is not the truth. I'm encouraging you to seek for the truth. And you know what? If there is a God, He's going to answer you. So just pray, reach out to Him. You know, Jesus said in the Bible, go to your room, close the door, and pray to your Father who is in heaven, because He's going to listen to you. And this is the best thing you can do. You don't have to go to church to put your arms up and to just show up. Just go in your bedroom. God listens to the secret of your heart. So talk to Him directly. And there is no prayers like, how can I pray? How do I do that? I don't know. Just close your eyes, kneel down if you want, sit if you want. Just try to find a way that you would respect your Father, and just talk to Him. Just ask Him, hey, I'm looking for you. Do you really exist? Test Him. Please do this and I will know it's you. I don't know, find a way with your own words, with what you are going through in your life, and He will answer you. And trust me, there are no coincidences, because after 3, 4, 5 coincidences, you will have to believe. Trust me, because it happens a lot of coincidences after a prayer like this. If you are sincere in your heart, if you are really looking for the truth, He is going to show up, and you are going to be amazed. And the verse that really spoke to me, and that is going to speak to you, because that's what you are going through today. And this is a promise He's making to you if you are looking for the truth. And this is Matthew chapter 7, verse 11 through 12 or 13, I think. And it says, ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you will find. Knock and it will be open to you. For everyone who asks receives, and the one who seeks finds, and to the one who knocks it will be opened. Or which one of you, if his son asks him for bread, will give him a stone? Or if he asks for a fish, will give him serpent? If you then, who are evil, know how to give good gifts to your children, how much more will your Father who is in heaven give good things to those who ask Him? So this is His promise. Ask Him with all your heart, and He's going to answer to you.